So today's presentation is going to off to a great start, obviously. We'll talk a little bit about the onboarding and interviewing process. About a third of the presentation talks about how to decide or look for indicators of animal rights activists trying to get hired on at your farms. So anyway, to get started, I'd like to do just a quick poll. Who in the room is an HR professional or leader on your team? Okay, perfect. Animal caretakers? Perfect. Okay. All right, so one of my absolute favorite quotes is, "Experience is a brutal teacher, but you learn. My God, you learn." Anthony Hopkins. I love this quote because it reminds me of my very first promotion into leadership. It was pretty rough, to say the least. Long story short, I worked really hard. I cared for the pigs the best I could, and I proved I was reliable. In my mind, I thought, I had it in the bag. However, there were other team members that really wanted to step into management as well. I thought that the title would automatically make them respect me. Everybody who has done that knows that that was a pretty naive thought. So I learned very quickly that the management title doesn't mean squat, and good leaders must earn the respect of the team, and you must be an active participant in your leadership skills. All right, when pursuing these skills, you'll discover 3 keys to leadership: the difference between a manager and a leader. You'll learn that employee success begins with good leadership, and the importance of leaders being involved within your training program. So I started researching what the difference is between a leader and a manager. Leaders inspire their people to be productive. Managers require people to complete tasks. The difference between a good and bad leader is often subtle, but it's in your mindset. It's all in the ability of your ownership of the team. A good leader sees the glass half full and knows their team wants to help them. Meanwhile, a bad leader constantly stresses out, is frustrated, and they won't give a chance to their team to help them. Leaders take ownership of their influence on the team as well. They ask constructive questions. May I show you? What can I do differently to help you learn? A manager will blame an individual for shortcomings. They'll make statements. You're doing it wrong, or you aren't capable. Most leaders face situations every day that test their patience, skills, and mindset. There's no magical drama-free team, but what separates a good leader from a manager is how they handle the challenges they face. Each employee and team success relies on good leadership. It is vital that you have a good rapport with your team. Now, I don't mean it's a popularity contest. Obviously, it's pretty unrealistic to think every single team member is going to like you, but build interpersonal relationships with them anyway. You know the saying, respect is earned, not given? Prove to them that you're trustworthy, fair, empathetic, appreciative, and above all, dependable. Keep your word. One of the quickest ways to lose people is broken promises. Keep the line of communication open regardless of your personal feelings. True leaders understand that leadership is not about them, but about those they serve. The success or failure of your team directly reflects your leadership. Evaluate your leadership style often and never stop pursuing ways to improve. All right, so now I have a question. As a leader, what is one of the most basic ways to connect with your team? Does anybody know? Get involved with employee training. Your presence in the training program shows that you value it. Take it a step further by engaging with the team. Show your encouragement, set expectations, and give positive reinforcement. It goes a long way with building rapport. Training is where lead by example comes into play. Be ready to teach them both hands-on and through e-learning. Remember, the leaders are the face of the team, so presenting yourself in a professional manner will go a long way. All right, second question. Can anybody give me examples of the positive impact training has on your team? Training keeps swine technicians engaged. Long-term staff retention, training improves employee performance and productivity, and it creates a designated space to deliver changes to an existing or new SOPs. All right, employee engagement by definition means the emotional commitment an employee has to the organization and its goals. With employee engagement, they have an emotional commitment to their jobs. They actually care about their work and the company. They don't work just for a paycheck or the next promotion. They work on behalf of the organization's goals. Employees are like light bulbs still in a box. Okay? They're there, but they're not especially useful without electricity, right? Well, your company is the electrical socket. The empty socket doesn't provide any service or brightness without a light bulb. Training is the magic that happens when you screw the light bulb in and electricity makes the light bulb shine. Okay? All right, long-term staff retention is something that most producers would like to obtain. Although some turnover can be healthy, a high employee turnover rate is costly. A study published by the National Association of Colleges and Employers reports just hiring an employee in a company with less than 500 people costs $7,646. It also takes up to 50 to 60% the cost of an annual salary to train a direct replacement. The average salary for an entrance agriculture position in Kansas in 2017 was $26,690. So, plus it will take 8 to 26 weeks for a company to achieve full productivity. Based on these stats, the baseline cost for onboarding a new employee is approximately $20,990. Ongoing training is a far better return on investment. It only costs about $1,500 average per person. Statistics show that 95% of hiring managers consider employee training as a key retention tool. And it's not hard to see why. We know that employees actively want to be trained, and doing so boosts morale and increases worker satisfaction. What does employee satisfaction have to do with long-term staff retention? The engagement is key to cultivating satisfaction, and satisfaction is key in employee engagement. This means that being happy in your job means you're more likely to stay loyal to the company. Training improves employee performance and productivity. Therefore, it will carry over to your herd. Let's discuss the why. The simple answer is, animal welfare is improved when effective training is delivered. When team members are properly trained, there is less margin for inadvertent mistakes. Individuals will have a heightened sense of awareness while checking their barns. They'll understand that food, water, and air conditions are first to notice when you walk into a barn. Habitually checking all three upon entering alleviate issues with basic pig necessities being overlooked by the inexperienced swine technician. Animal performance, both in daily gains and reproduction, have potential to improve when handlers know what the warning signs are to look for. This has a domino effect. Team members who are being diligent in pig evaluations identify issues early. Because challenges are identified early, solutions are executed quicker. Mortality decreases. Now, every caretaker knows that animals well cared for normally show better performance. Whether it's feed conversions to average daily gain, accurate vaccination placement, or sows producing healthy litters, swine technicians play a critical role in making sure. Well training explained that good feed conversion means properly set and flowing feeders. Vaccinating should be carried out in an appropriate time frame for maximum immunities. Gilts and sows properly cared for will give birth to more live pigs. They will also produce the appropriate amount of milk for their litter. Across the industry, it's a well-known fact that biosecurity plays a large part in animal welfare. Handlers trained in biosecurity are less likely to breach because they know that there is risk to the herd. If pigs are protected from getting sick in the first place, it can be directly translated to a decrease in death loss. Need more convincing that employee training is worth the effort? Let's break it down. Accurately executed training enhances biosecurity to prevent pigs from getting sick. Early identification means higher probability that the treatment being successful on the first treatment, therefore making treatments more economical. Properly set feeders guarantees feed is not being thrown into the pit, lowering feed costs. Sows producing more per litter means more market hogs out the door. Combine all of this and it equals an increase in profit margin per pig. All of these are positive attributions toward excellent pig care, which in our world is top priority. Training gives you a platform for introducing new or updated SOPs. Imagine having to repeat yourself 100 times to inform each employee. You'd feel like a broken record. The next thing about training modules is they allow you to update and assign specific modules to the entire team efficiently. Another added bonus is Learning Management Systems, or LMS, does all of the documenting for you. You're able to easily look up who has completed training, as well as other information, such as the date and time they did it, if they passed the quiz, and how long it took them to complete the course. Now let's chat about interviewing and orientation processes. A little preparation goes a long way when introducing your company to a potential hire. Groundwork prior will also protect you from getting into a sticky situation. Are we training our interviewers to identify undercover animal rights activists? Are we hiring warm bodies or potential assets? Finally, are we doing everything we can to set the new hires up for success? A large challenge we face is being able to identify undercover animal rights activists. Ways to protect your systems are as follows. Thoroughly screen applicants. Verify information and check all references. Be cautious of individuals who try to use anything other than a driver's license, have an out-of-state license, or are looking for short-term work. If they don't have a valid reason, such as a college internship, definitely proceed with caution. During the interview, look for answers that seem overly rehearsed or include incorrect use of farm terminology. Search for all applicants online and see if they have a public social media profile, website, or blog. Look for any questionable content connecting them to activist organizations. Prevent undercover animal rights groups from infiltrating your organization. Require every new hire to sign a confidentiality agreement. Require an animal welfare policy to be signed. Upon hiring, promptly provide proper animal handling training. Your AWP should require employees to report any mishandling immediately. Seek local counsel. Laws pertaining to protecting your farm from animal rights groups vary from state to state. Request assistance on how to form non-discriminatory questions to ask your employee applications or during interviews. I know what you're thinking, they're probably going to lie. But one of the more prominent laws that may give you grounds for legal action are ag-gag laws. These laws criminalize using deception to gain access in agriculture production facilities with the intent to cause harm to the business. Unfortunately, over the last few years, many states have deemed ag-gag laws unconstitutional against First Amendment rights. As of now, research has shown that Missouri does have an ag-gag law in place. Now, I know these are repetitive, but always check references and do a background check. Overly rehearsed answers and wrong terminology using farm-related words. They will have no prior work experience in livestock production or animal care, and cues show that the interviewee is repulsed or emotionally disturbed when discussing job description or during your farm tour. Finally, be diligent. If something doesn't seem right, explore it further. All right, so this slide is more for the people that are going to be directly in the interview. I personally interviewed an investigator to kind of find out different behavioral indicators of deception. The first is they don't make eye contact. Generally, one of the first notable signs is not being able to make eye contact. However, it's not the most reliable, so look for other indications. Not making eye contact may be a behavior of deception, guilt, or timidity. Reading the interviewee's other body language will assist you in determining why they aren't making eye contact. The second is covering your eyes or mouth while speaking. There is a natural tendency to want to cover up a lie. So if a person's hand goes in front of their mouth while responding to a question, that's significant. Similarly, there's a natural inclination to shield oneself from the reaction from those you're lying to. Okay, so if a person shields their eyes while they're responding to a question, on a subconscious level, they're indicating that they can't bear the reaction of the whopper they're telling to you. Okay? They clear their throat or performs a significant swallow prior to answering a question. If a person clears their throat or performs a significant swallow prior to answering a question, it's a potential problem. Now, if they do it afterwards, it doesn't really matter. But doing it before will create, well, there could be a couple of things happening. They might be doing the non-verbal equivalent to, oh man, I swear, cross my heart, kind of thing, okay? The second is a psychological reason. The question might have spiked a spike in anxiety, which can cause discomfort or dryness in the mouth or throat. Hand-to-face activities. Be on the lookout for anything a person does in the face region in response to your question. This often takes force in the form of biting or licking your lips or pulling on your lips or ears. The reason is actually pretty simple. The question creates a spike in anxiety because a truthful response would be incriminating. This in turn triggers the nervous system to go in and dissipate the anxiety. It'll drain the blood from the face, ears, or extremities. That causes a sensation of cold or itchiness. Without the person even realizing it, his hands are drawn to those areas, and bam, you spotted a deceptive indicator. The next question is, are we hiring warm bodies or potential assets? At this point, you need to make a subconscious decision. Are you hiring a warm body or a potential asset? A few questions to ask yourself are, do you see this person fitting into your company culture? Is this person motivated to learn about your organization? And are they team-oriented? So you've decided to offer them a position. Today is their first day. This is often a stressful day for new employees. They know they're the newbie. They might also be new to hog farming, and they don't really know anyone yet. This can be intimidating. Onboarding is your chance to make a lasting impression. Do your best to make it a good one. Get them started on the right foot. Be active in their training experience. And remember that sink or swim is no longer an acceptable approach. Get them started on the right foot. Be ready for them. Make them feel welcome. This means to prepare them for showering in and out. Make sure that the farm has appropriate size undergarments, clothes, and boots. Pre-arrange a friendly, responsible training buddy. That buddy may meet them at the office and lead them to the farm. They will definitely be there to greet them when they shower in. They'll introduce them to the team. Be a partner and confidant during onboarding. This buddy checks in with the new employee. They'll ask questions such as, how are you feeling raising pigs? Are you comfortable? Is there anything I can do to help you? It's also a good practice each workday to spend just 5 minutes reviewing on what they've trained on. Studies have shown that learning materials need to be repeated 7 or more times so we can remember it. It also takes 21 daily repetitions for it to become a habit. So that buddy, it takes care in helping form good habits while onboarding. Finally, they'll offer camaraderie to each new employee to help them build a relationship with the team. Leaders, specifically the ones that will be performing reviews, should set attainable goals and clear expectations from the beginning. For example, a new hire for the nursery, it might be, at your 30-day review, we normally have caretakers sorting weaned pigs and grueling the babies on their own. Whereas in maintenance, it might be something like, we'll teach you to patch tires and service our company vehicles. Always be clear when setting expectations and make sure that the goals are attainable. Once they have met that goal, make sure that you give them, a little bit of encouragement, give them a pat on the back. That'll help them build confidence in their position. Leaders need to be active in every new hire's onboarding experience. Now, you can delegate most of the training, but you need to be visible to them. Plan to stop by the farms. When you do audits, make a point to chat with them. Build an interpersonal relationship. Let them know that you are approachable and always willing to help if you can. People are visual learners, so if they see you helping treat or calmly handling challenges, they're more likely to respect you. Once they've completed their first 90 days, there's another 90 to 120 days of getting comfortable in their position. Their assigned buddy and leaders should make sure to follow up and check in frequently. Make sure that they don't feel like they're drowning. Give them a lifeline. Employees want to succeed in their positions. They'll quickly get frustrated and discouraged if they feel like they don't have someone to talk to or get advice from. Facts to keep in mind are, organizations that handle onboarding poorly are twice as likely to cause new hires to seek different opportunities. Statistics show that if the company has a well-structured onboarding program, 91% of employees will stick around for at least a year. 97% will stick around for 3 years. Talk about an inspiration. What type of training happens after onboarding? Ongoing. This type of training is just as vital as the initial training. Ongoing training says, hey, I'm willing to invest in you and our future. It shows that you appreciate every employee for the unique qualities that they bring to the table. John Maxwell put it perfectly. You add value to people when you value them. When you see a teammate really trying to grow, don't be afraid to give them a hard-earned high five. Everyone needs encouragement to thrive in their position. There is a fine line, though. Being overly complimentary is also as counterproductive as being a negative Nelly. When offering them, make sure it's genuine. No one likes fake or blanket compliments. For example, you've really mastered showering in and out. Well, that would be a blanket compliment. Everybody can shower with personal hygiene skills, okay? A more productive and genuine word of encouragement would be, wow, you do an excellent job sorting hogs for loadout. Farm implementation is key to meaningful training. Make sure that your caretakers understand the why. Why are we changing or adding an SOP? When performing audits, pay attention to the most current training pieces. Ensure they are carried out on the farm level. Explaining this why sounds like this. Our vet let us know that studies have shown that running oral vaccine for ileitis 21 days before leaving the nursery offers better immunity in the finisher. While explaining the why, present it in a way that your team can see how it directly impacts their pigs. While performing audits, make sure to check oral vaccine records, ensuring that there is follow-through. Make training an expectation in your company. Use it to reinforce a strong safety culture. This results in fewer preventable accidents. Training sessions can easily be integrated to monthly or bi-weekly mandatory safety meetings. When people are trained properly, there is less margin for inadvertent mistakes. We all understand that mistakes can be costly in both workman's comp and production. So if there's a way to prevent them, why not do it? The final thought about ongoing training is staff buy-in remains critical to strong safety cultures. Never, under any circumstances, should the person presenting training or a team leader make negative comments about the training. Remarks such as, it's inconvenient, it's boring, it's a waste of time, etc. are counterproductive. These types of comments breed widespread negative attitudes, which will, at very least, guarantee a specific session won't be absorbed. Worst case scenario, teams will put up a wall against training. They both result in zero buy-in. All right, so the evidence is clear. It's always relevant from orientation to veteran swine technicians. It always applies to everyone within your company. From animal caretakers to leadership to human resources, every single employee deserves to grow within their position. That's because every individual plays a role in your company's success. I leave you with one final thought. We wouldn't let our piglets fend for themselves, so we shouldn't do it to our people. Thanks for joining me today.